Okay guys, today we're going to take a look at EOS. Normally I evaluate everything from an Elliott wave perspective, but today we're going to take a look at it from a different perspective of trend line analysis. So I want to give you guys a different perspective of how analysis can be done as well, right guys? So today guys, let's take a look at EOS. Is it another coin or just in a pretty dress? I personally love this coin, gonna give it my full faithfulness. But sometimes we might need to reassess since the RSI is too high, it might likely just die. We might need to dispossess because with every correction like a carbon process under a hydraulic press, and nevertheless with transverse process, it becomes a work in progress. But after every major correction, EOS will reach all-time highs with great new success. Drop the mic! Okay guys, sometimes I like to break out into my little songs like that, alright? So we're going to take a look at this from a trend line analysis perspective because we are done with Elliott wave theory for now, okay? If we're done with Elliott wave, somebody give me a holler. Ow, ow! Come on, give me a holler, Luna. Ow, ow! One more. I don't like that holler. Ow, ow! Come on, if you like trend line analysis, give me a holler. There you go. One more. Ow, ow! Okay, guys, I think the general public has spoken. Okay, I'm staying at my parents' for a few more days, and the dog is with me here, just chilling here for a little bit. Come on, Luna, give me a howl. Ow, ow! There you go. Okay, guys, the market, the public has spoken, guys. It's a democracy. We voted. We don't want to do Elliott wave anymore, so we're doing trendline analysis for this. Okay, guys, we are going to take a look at this from a trendline perspective, okay? So first of all, what we're going to do when we first have when we first get the first point, right? The people that like to take the risk, they can enter early. I personally don't do that. What I do is I wait for a second bounce to get some sort of confirmation. So what they do after this first bounce, this top goes up here, okay guys, is they will actually say the first top and the second one has formed. What you would do is you would just draw a line like this right here. You would draw a line like this right here across it. And then you would assume symmetry as well. So you try to get a symmetric line, a symmetric channel, just something like that for now, okay? Something like that. So notice how it's fairly symmetrical, right? This channel that we see, no one would argue that. We're taking whatever relevant point here, drawing a channel right across it, and it looks actually great. Can't complain at all about it. Now, what we can assume is that the next point, if it bounces, since we did see it bounce off of here, would be this right here. That's where we would get it to. But this channel is the one that concerns all of us right now first, okay? We're going to draw a channel through it. We're going to draw a trend line through it. It's really important for us to be able to adapt as a trader. Elliott wave is not working the way I would like it to, so I'm going to change up my strategy, guys, and that's what a good trader will do. They will absolutely 100% change up their strategy because sometimes a specific style will suit better. So what we would do after drawing this channel is we would short it if it goes on the downside, or if it breaks, short it if it goes on the downside. This is even before this happened, right? All we have so far is basically this. We would short it right here, guys, if it breaks this channel going down, or we would go long if it breaks the channel going upwards. And surely enough, it goes upwards, so we follow a few rules. One, the body can be in between the actual resistance line itself, and this is a clear resistance from the channel that we've drawn. Two, if it actually closes where it opens, sorry, with a higher high, and it closes with a higher high as well, or sorry, it opens with a higher low and it closes with a higher low and a higher high, then go in the trade. Boom, that would be an amazing trade to go in, okay guys? Great trade to go in. And we can even get some more confirmation by having a big candle like this one, for example, successfully close above the 55 EMA, okay? Now that we know it is on an uptrend, we can actually draw our channels now. Before, it was too premature. Now we can draw a channel like that, and we can just keep extending it because we don't know where it's going to end or not. And now that we have that particular one drawn, we can assume symmetry now, okay? Like I mentioned earlier, we can assume symmetry and just draw it all the way down to over here. Actually, it was this point, I remember. See, notice how we're just getting a channel just from these 2 points that have formed. This one here, this one, and that one. We don't know what's happening to over here yet, okay? We're gonna break it down and highlight it for you guys. This one area right there, we have no idea what's happening to it yet, okay? So we're just gonna keep that area, you know, some color just to make sure you guys know I'm not actually talking about that area yet. We're only talking about in the areas that's visible right here, okay? Now what we would do after we have confirmed a breakout using 3 rules, right? 1, a close above this resistance of the channel. 2, a confirmation of the EMA as well. And 3, the body can poke through it. Those are my 3 confirmations of an uptrend, combined with volume, of course, as well, okay? This one is a really good candle, especially because the bears tried to push it down, but it was rejected by the bulls. Now that we've seen only this part right here, what we would automatically do is go into a position, a long position, using this tool here, okay? We'll go into a long position. No, that's the short tool. We'll go into a long position right here, okay? Now we don't know any of this forming yet. I'll actually extend it out to over here. We don't know any of that forming yet, but what we do know is it's breaking out. So we set our stop loss slightly below here, right? And we would make a target in the channel. We would make a target in the channel to where it could possibly peak. Just, you know, something like that. Something like that, right? It could be over here, it could be over here, we don't know. But what we do know is that it could be a very defined target right here. And surely enough, this risk to reward ratio was about 4-to-1. So it was a phenomenal trade to take. And surely enough, guys, when it got to here, it ended up, now that we see what is going on there, right? We can just move that area here. Surely enough, it reached that point there. And how do we know how to take profit? Okay, guys, how do we know? Well, we know because it's now bearishly diverging right here. So we don't have to take it the exact top because we don't know if it's going to break through or not. So we might want to wait for another bounce when it comes down and then bounces up, and then we confirm it's bearishly diverging. So this specific point is probably where I would have cut my profit right here. Even though it's not at the top, that's fine because you don't want to take that risk of it going higher. You want to get a confirmation of a downtrend first before you cut your losses because there's always the chance that it can go higher, right? So now that let's say we've seen right here, okay guys, up to this point right here only, okay? We've seen this point. What we can see, you guys could have shorted there once you've confirmed it, absolutely, okay? We're just gonna draw a channel like this. We're just gonna, let's say you didn't short it and you were just patiently waiting to re-enter it, okay? Or even if you did short it, great. When would have been a good time to close your short? Let's go into this in detail. Let's say you entered a short position right here. You would have set a stop loss slightly higher than it, right? Stop loss slightly higher than it, and the same target would apply. You would try to target the channel right here. And that would have been a great risk to reward of 5.45 to 1, or sorry, 5.46 to 1. But clearly it didn't reach there. So what you would have done instead is you would have waited for an uptrend to close your short. So it's okay, guys. It's okay that you take a small loss. So instead of getting 12, you know, you were shooting for 20%, you could have got a 17% profit, but instead you took a 13% profit. But the reason why it's better to not right at the bottom is because you don't know if it's going to be the bottom or not. You don't know if it's going to continue downwards, right? So with trendline analysis, we wait for a breakout confirmation and then we close our position because we weigh it against it possibly going down and losing out on more profit. So sometimes it's better to take a smaller profit once you have confirmed the uptrend rather than to not have confirmed the uptrend and it go down way more, all right? So boom, you close your position right there. And now we're going to move this over here. And once you've confirmed your position right there, and it's now going in an uptrend since it broke the channel, you do the same thing again. You go into a long position right here. And don't forget, I'm a day trader, guys, so I take many positions throughout the day. So that's exactly what I would be doing right there. I would do the exact same thing, set a stop loss slightly above the main channel, okay? Stop loss slightly below the main channel, and then we target again the exact top. And that's what we would do. And surely enough, it hit it, right guys? So how do we confirm that it was the top? So we don't know if it's a top. We can go to a 5-minute chart, for example, okay guys? And here it's clearly getting lower lows. So what we can just assume, just from a few candles, is it's not gonna get a higher high. We can even go to like a 30-minute chart and just see it just slightly poking above it, or even a 1-hour chart where it's probably a pretty ugly candle, I'm guessing. Well, not too ugly of a candle. 3-minute chart might confirm it. Let's see. Definitely confirms in a 3-minute chart with a bearish divergence of these tops here. See that? So I would have closed it right here for the bearish R side divergence, and also because it hit the top there. So once again, you don't want to confirm, you don't want to try to shoot for the top always, because you don't know if it's going to go higher or not. So you take your profit, you wait for a small downtrend, and you probably would have closed it right here instead. So once again, you weighed against the risk of it possibly going higher to try to catch that top, right? You can't catch the top every time. It's always better to confirm a downtrend rather than waiting, than just try to catch at the top when instead it could possibly go higher. So you just made 22% right there. Okay, so that's how you would do that. Now that we've confirmed that, we're gonna break down this particular area right here. Okay, now that we're gonna see a channel, we're gonna wait for a few ones, and you guys could have shorted it again there, right? Oh, I forgot to say, now that we've confirmed this uptrend right here, right? This pattern ends basically right here, right? And notice, actually it didn't end right there. It ended right here, okay? This channel ended there, and now notice that it formed a new, it didn't really touch the lower channel, right? Instead, it formed a new channel right here, right? And if you actually look at it closely, if you extended it, right, entirely, you notice that it's sort of squeezing into there already, right? And now we're going to take a look at this channel after we played that position and went long there. Okay, you guys could have shorted here as well. You could have shorted it and did the exact same thing where you would have went into a short position after confirming the top, and then you would have shot for this channel right here. You would have shot for this inner channel that it just recently made. But once again, you can confirm it when it breaks out of the channel, and that's when you close your position. Now, let's try to draw some trend lines like that, okay? Let's draw this right here as well. We have this spot right there as well. And we notice what, guys? That finally, instead of a channel like this one, we're getting a lot of pressure right here, okay, guys? This is actually a lot of bearish pressure to break out of it. And instead of a channel, we end up getting a falling bullish wedge, right? Where it makes a count of 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. And after 5 successful touches, this one doesn't count as a successful touch. This one and this one does. This one and this one does. On the 5th one, it will always break out of it, okay? Sometimes there's a throw over slightly lower, but then it breaks out eventually. So after you confirm that Elliott wave count, right? Instead of you shot for this lower channel, you've confirmed the 5th one, right? You could have closed your position right then and there if you want, but a better thing to do probably would be to wait for it to break out of here, right? Wait for it to break out just to confirm. Here we still see a rejection of the bulls. The bulls tried to push it up, but it was rejected by the bears. The bulls pushed it up, but it was rejected by the bears. And now we follow the exact same rule of mine where the body can be in between. The EMA can be in between it, but then the next candle successfully closed above the EMA. So this one right here confirmed a downtrend, right? And also right here. So closing it anywhere between here to get yourself a 12% gain, or even right here for an 8% gain would have been fantastic as well. Now, next point we're going to evaluate is right here, okay? We haven't seen any of this yet. What we do see is right here. Oh yeah, after we've confirmed this bottom, we actually have a new trend line again, okay guys? So remember the first one was this one out here, which I will delete now, okay? I will delete it because it's not that relevant anymore for now. Actually, I won't. Okay, And then we got a higher one than the channel right here, which actually ended up doing that. And if you look at it really far out, it actually makes a wedge, right? And now this one followed the exact same type of rule or pattern where it didn't quite touch this one as well. So now we are going to draw another trend line from where it started to right here, okay? Pretty much right here. There you go. So that's a pretty good one, right? It just touches this one here, reaches these points here, right? And what do you guys notice? Where we are right now, which we'll get into later, is just hovering right around it, okay? But we don't see that yet. All that we see is up to here, okay? We're gonna try to draw some structures. We see this point here, and here you could have gone long definitely, okay? You could have gone long definitely as well by, let's get our long tool here. After the breakout on the confirmation candle, which I'll choose there, you guys could have chose a stop loss slightly lower than the resistance line that we've formed with that trend line there. You could have shot for here as well, but we clearly noticed that after it went to the 5-minute RSI here, it got a little bit lower and it kept getting lower, right? So that's how we could have confirmed it was the top as well, just successfully getting lower and lower. So instead of getting a profit of 10%, you're getting a profit of about 6%, and then you cut your loss, you take your profit right there. And this one here, let's say on the uptrend, right, we can draw a channel here like this, kind of like that as well, right? We can see that this one's definitely making a channel, right? We can't really count this successfully. Elliott wave won't work for it, so I'm not even going to try. But what we do follow the same rules of is if it does go below it, breaks out the channel, then hey, that's now going to be a small downtrend down here, okay? So now we've seen that part here. And personally, the risk to reward is getting a lot lower if you've noticed, right? So I don't really play these positions anymore. I wait for the bigger one. And now we can start to see the big picture of where we are currently at. And what we're going to do, by the way, I forgot to mention, okay? Notice the first one that we draw here, it was starting to wedge, right? But now that we've drawn this trend line, what do you guys notice? It's wedging even more now, right? So if I were to take away this one and this one right here, take away that, take away that, take away that, take away that, and we just keep the most relevant one that we see, what do you guys notice? It's now absolutely wedging, okay guys? Absolutely wedging right here. And also, if we were to add Elliott wave into it, we're just going to do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have our 5 count in there. Usually 5 is all we get, guys. And then it starts to slowly make its way down and downtrends. So am I bearish or am I bullish? I'm neutral right now, but based on the charts that we see and the 5 points that it forms on the falling wedge, right? On the rising bearish wedge, we can't help but think that it's finally going to go down. Now my count that I did earlier, what I did was I messed up pretty hard, right? I messed up pretty hard there, and I actually didn't count it properly at all. I counted my wave 1 over here, which I shouldn't have done that. This is the wave 1 right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, guys? That is the wave count for Elliott wave. I just want to be very clear. So it's my mistake. My apologies. I fucked up, and now I'm going to approach it with a different method. But we can still keep it relevant of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 inside of it. Notice that this one can't really touch a higher high than here anymore, right? It's losing its strength entirely. Look on the 5-minute chart as well. We can kind of see it losing strength from right here. It's just slowly going down in general, uniformly. Just like that, right? So now what do we see, guys? We saw this channel being broken. Now it downtrends like that. We also see a wedge that's forming, a massive wedge that's forming, okay? And we also see that it has now absolutely reached 5 points on the Elliott wave. And we also see this, okay? We see this right here, right? No disagreeing with this right here. Now, what did you guys count here? We counted 5, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now we're going to count 5 in here as well. 1. This will be 2 right here, actually. 3, and I'm guessing this is going to happen. 4, 5. This one didn't quite touch it, so we don't count it, right? Here, if you guys really want to get detailed, it counts like this inside of it. 1, 2, a big drop in 3, a slight uptrend right there, pretty much. 4, and then 5. And then in here, we get an A, B, C. Actually, I'll go to over here, rather, to make it better. And this one, we're just getting an A, and then B, and then C for now. We never know. It might go up a little bit more, and the wedge will be changed, right? It might be something very different. But what we see right now, guys, is not an uptrend because it's just hovering and teetering there, right? And this ABC always forms for the up waves for one counter trending. So 1, 2, and 3 like that. So if that one formed 5, this one's got a chance to form 5 as well, just coming down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? But for all we know, guys, and I want to be very clear that this wedge might not even form instead, okay? It might not even form, and what could happen as well, because it's in a very bullish sentiment right now, is we might actually just break out of the wedge, hover to right around this point, this key apex point right there, and then we just end up breaking out. That is a possibility as well, where we just keep going and we get a very, very extended wave is what they can call it, okay? So what I'm waiting for is a confirmation right around this area where everything tends to meet. I'm waiting for, is it going to bounce heavily off of there with a lot of volume and then go up and then just kind of hover around the channel? If it does, I'm going to go into a long position. Is it gonna go short and then just hover? See, notice it's doing that already. So I think that our ABC should be a little different. So it could do something just like this right here. But either way, what we do see is a wedge, and this needs to be broken. It 100% needs to be broken in order for us to uptrend. This could even be something like that as well. But let's take a look at all the indicators right now. It's pretty high. It needs to break into the 80 zones for it to be considered like an uptrend. But we do see the 4-hour one, right, where it's losing strength, as I mentioned. It's down ticking already in the MACD histogram, right? We see it down ticking clearly right now, if you guys see this, right? I know this looks like it's still going up, but it might just hover and then finally come down. If we look at it from the overall picture on the 3-hour time frame, we see the histogram downtrending like that. So I don't know if it's going to go up or go down, no idea. But what we do know is this is a very critical point right now, okay? The bears have tried to push it down, but they just pushed it back up already, right? So that's a pretty powerful 3-hour doji candle that just formed. So it's just hovering really hard right now against it. So that's still making the C correction in that particular wave. So I'm just going to keep redrawing it. And it looks like it's going to make a channel as well, right? Now that it's getting a higher one. Not down here, I'm not saying it down here, but I'm saying that the channel is specifically right here, right now. That's why this particular area where we're using the support line that's been formed from this one and this one, which I can probably draw it a lot better. There we go. It's a lot better, okay? The volume is slowly declining, guys. Like, I mean, when we look at our volume, we do this as well, okay, guys? Everything can be diverged or not, right? We see it slowly getting down here, right? Specifically from this top over here. When it reached that top, it didn't have nearly as much volume. And we do see it downtrending in volume, okay, as well. So you guys have to make note of the small things like this as well. So once again, where are we? We're testing this resistance line, or sort of support line right now. But this is also making an ABC. And this is a key area that it needs to break out of. It needs to successfully bounce really hard off of this resistance line in order for it to stay in the channel, okay? Now, let's say, for example, that it ends up, now that we have a new channel, okay guys? New channel, new waves can be drawn as well, right? So let's say it successfully stays in that channel right there, we're going to actually redraw and counter waves because it takes 5 points successfully for it to eventually come down. Okay, 5 points starting from here, say. So what we could maybe do is we can draw right here even 1, 2, 3, right? And then let's say this is 4 and that's 5 up there. Like it could start making its way up there. That's very, very possible as well, guys. Okay, so major test right here. I have no idea what is going to happen. I couldn't even predict what is going to happen. We take a look at some of the indicators. It's upticking on the histogram there, right? But we do see divergence still. This is not really doing much of anything. We don't know if it's going to curve up or just go up a little, then come down. We just have to take a look at the overall big picture, which is this guy here is really stretched out, guys. And we can just make assumptions, for example, like this, okay? Could that one just go like that and then go up? Could this one looks like it wants to come down a little bit, right? So this one is possible for it to just curve around like that. So we just try to make as many assumptions as we can, okay, guys? So, but make note of the volume, and we're trying to look for candle. This one's a really ugly candle, okay, guys? The one that formed on the 3-hour chart here. This is basically not the candle that we want at all, So this is more like a shooting star candle, okay, guys? A shooting star candle, we don't really want that. It kind of indicates it's slightly bearish candle, I'd have to say. So what just happened here? Wow, it's down ticking. Someone just dumped to 27 right here. That's a pretty big candle, right? So now that we know that that's the ABC, I'm guessing, okay? ABC, we can actually just keep doing this. Right here. Wow, look at this candle that just formed, the 5-minute one. And guys, we are definitely testing really hard right now. Do you guys want to watch it with me? We're testing really hard this resistance, okay? Notice what's going on? Right here, guys, key point right now. Something is going to happen very, very soon. And it's when something happens, it's going to be major, okay, guys? Right here, it was consolidating, then boom, it broke out, right? And in this channel as well, okay? In this channel as well, it's getting much tighter, right? Much tighter as it gets to the trend line, and then it breaks out, okay? So we don't know if it's going to break out once again. No idea whatsoever. The market sentiment is incredibly bullish, so I wouldn't be surprised if we actually made another run and actually just got up there. Wouldn't be surprised at all, but at the same time, we have to make note that the 4-hour RSI is fucking deadly right now, and the 1 daily one is even more deadly. And a correction is definitely overdue. It's just a matter of when, guys, not if, okay? Like I said to you guys in my wrap, if you guys remember, right? If you guys remember my wrap, the RSI is too high, it might likely just die. We might need to dispossess because with every correction, right, it needs to make sure that it goes through a process, guys. And once it goes through the process, right, we get more progress, okay? Because with every correction that we get all-time highs again. That's what I was trying to say in my little rap song that I made for you guys. So here we go. It looks like it's breaking out of it. But in order for it to break out of it, we need to successfully get a close above this trend line that I drew. And it's not exactly doing that right now. So make sure you guys know the plays right here going on. I'm neither bearish nor bullish. I'm done calling this because I was unsuccessful, right, calling it with Elliott Wave. Even though I played it very successfully, I didn't call it successfully at all. So I was doing Elliott Wave. It went a completely different way than I had predicted, but I still successfully took the trade because I bought into strength, which is something I wouldn't normally do, okay? So here, guys, we're going to draw a few more lines to see what we get, okay? Notice what's going on here, right? This is making a little wedge. If it breaks out of it, guys, it'll most likely go into this wedge right here. If not that one, then it might just do something like this, right there. Okay, so we got a few key areas. Okay, guys. So right here, where we're just drawing a bunch of different trend lines, this is definitely an apex point that's incredibly important. Now, if it breaks out of there, it needs to break this resistance line right here, right? If it doesn't break it, it'll hover right around to over here, and then it'll downtrend. If it does break this particular resistance line right there, then we're gonna meet the bigger picture one right here, and it could fall anywhere between $1.54 to $1.57. Now, I want to show you guys. Remember that original chart, okay, that I posted? Let's see if I have it here. $1.54, $1.57, around there. Whew, I've been staying at my parents a lot lately. You know why? Because they feed me. It's actually pretty nice. Nothing is better than fucking being fed. I shit you guys not. Right? When like, you know, someone brings you food. Not that I have any friends, but I'm just saying, you know. So here, guys, $1.54 was my original target based on extensions of these waves. $1.54. Okay, guys? Now, if we actually look right where the wedge meets, it's right around there, $1.54. So we have a chance to go all the way up there. What I was saying based on those extensions is that that could be a possible target. But using trend line analysis, we have to look at the big picture. So I'm going to go over it again, guys. This is currently in a falling wedge right now, which is bullish, okay? If it reaches here, it'll break out of it a little bit. But right now, it's not doing anything at all, is it, huh? Nope, right? If it breaks out of this wedge right here along this support line, then we have another resistance area from the top here coming down here. And then I'm going to make this smaller actually. So right now, this is the key area that we're looking at. The next key area, if it breaks out of here, would be right here using trendline analysis, because this originally was a resistance which becomes support. This is a big support area from lines that we've drawn all the way from down here to these key points, right? And then we also have another resistance line coming like this. So it has to be an apex area. If it breaks out of this area, we use this particular trend line right there going up there, and it's wedging it. So it needs to break this right here, that resistance line. If not, it'll end up wedging right into there. And that would be a rising bullish wedge or bearish wedge, right? At this point, it'll most likely fall down right here. It'll absolutely come down right here if it fits into this pattern. If it does not break out into this rising wedge right here, then a really good possibility for it to go to is this area where it will eventually fall down to the target that I specified a few days ago. So there you guys have it. Good luck with your trades. I hope you guys are successful with it. And you know what, guys? Someone offered to tip me. I'm just going to say this in every video now, okay, guys? I'm going to say in every video, you guys know that I never ever will create any type of stupid content or tutorial packages or shit like that, or an ebook that I'm going to try to sell you guys, okay, guys? But what I will do from now on is I'm going to put my wallet address if you guys want to buy me a cup of coffee. Someone actually tipped me quite a bit, and I was like, whoa, I don't really understand what I'm doing. And he just said to me, hey, you're putting in a lot of hard work and I appreciate you. So I was actually really grateful that he did that, right? So if you guys want to buy me a cup of coffee, send me a few coins. That'd be amazing. And other than that, subscribe to my YouTube, subscribe to my Twitter, you know, blah, 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 blah. And I look forward to seeing you guys in the future. Take it easy.